Hello and welcome. My name is Alan, and we are back with more in the Buddha's words. Yeah, today we'll be reading two small parts. So, with present welfare, future welfare, and right livelihood. But with that said, let's get into this. Chapter 4, Section 3 Present Welfare, Future Welfare. On one occasion, the Blessed One was dwelling among the Kodians, where there was a market town of the Kulians named Kakarapata. When the Kulian family man Dighanjanu approached the Blessed One, paid homage to him, and sat down to one side. So seated, he said to the Blessed One, Venerable Sir, we are the lay people who enjoy sensual pleasures, dwelling at home in a bed crowded with children, enjoying fine sandalwood, wearing garlands, scents, and unguents, accepting gold and silver. Let the Blessed One teach the Dhamma to us in a way that will lead to our welfare and happiness both in the present life and the future life as well. There are Vyaghapaja, four things that lead to the welfare and happiness of a family man in his in this very life. What for? The accomplishment of persistent effort, the accomplishment of protection, good friendship, and balanced living. And what is the accomplishment of persistent effort? Here, Vyaghapaja, whatever may be the means by which the family man earns his living, whether by farming, trade, cattle raising, archery, or civil service, or by some other craft, he is skillful and diligent. He investigates the appropriate means and is able to act and arrange everything properly. This is called the accomplishment of persistent effort. And what is the accomplishment of protection? Here, Vyaghapaja, a family man sets up protection and guard over the wealth acquired by energetic striving, amassed by the strength of his arms, earned by the sweat of his brow, righteous wealth righteously gained, thinking, how can I prevent kings and bandits from taking this away? Fire from burning it, floods from sweeping it off, and unloved heirs from taking it. This is called the accomplishment of protection. And what is good friendship? Here, Vyaghapaja, in whatever village or town a family man dwells, he associates with householders or their sons, whether young or old, who are of the mature virtue, accomplished in faith, moral discipline, generosity, and wisdom. He converses with them and engages in discussions with them. He emulates them in regard to their accomplishment in faith, moral discipline, generosity, and wisdom. This is called good friendship. And what is balanced living? Here, Vyagahapaja, a family man knows his income and expenditures and leads a balanced life, neither extravagant nor miserly, so that his income exceeds his expenditures rather than the reverse. Just as a goldsmith or his apprentice holding up a scale knows by so much it has tipped down, by so much it has tilted up. So a family man leads a balanced life. The wealth thus amassed has four sources of dissipation: womanizing, drunkenness, gambling, and evil friendship. Just as in the case of a tank with four inlets and outlets, if one should close the inlets and open the outlets, and there would not be adequate rainfall, a decrease rather than an increase of the water could be expected in the tank. So these four things bring about the dissipation of amassed wealth. Similarly, there are four sources for the increase of amassed wealth: abstinence from womanizing, from drunkenness, from gambling, and from evil friendship. Just as the case of a tank with four inlets and outlets, if one should open the inlet and close the outlets, and there would be adequate rainfall, an increase rather than a decrease of the water could be expected in the tank. So these four things bring about the increase of amassed wealth. These four things, Vyagahapaja, lead to a family man's welfare and happiness in the present life. Four other things lead to a family man's welfare and happiness in the future life. What for? Accomplishment in faith, moral discipline, generosity, and wisdom. And how is a family man accomplished in faith? Here, Vyagahapaja, a family man has faith. He places faith in the enlightenment of the Tathagata. So the Blessed One is an Arahant, perfectly enlightened, accomplished in true knowledge and conduct, fortunate, knower of the world, unsurpassed leader of the persons to be tamed, teacher of devas and humans, the enlightened one, the Blessed One. In this way, a family man is accomplished in faith. And how is a family man accomplished in moral discipline? Here, Vyagahapaja, a family man abstains from the destruction of life, from stealing, from sexual misconduct, from false speech, and from wines, liquors, and intoxicants, the basis for negligence. In this way, a family man is accomplished in moral discipline. And how is a family man accomplished in generosity? Here, Vyagapaja, a family man dwells at home with a mind devoid of the stain of stinginess, freely generous, open-handed, delighting in relinquishment, one devoted to charity, delighting in giving and sharing. In this way, a family man is accomplished in generosity. And how is a family man accomplished in wisdom? Here, Vyagapaja, a family man possesses the wisdom that sees into the arising and passing away of phenomena that is noble and penetrative and leads to the complete destruction of suffering. In this way, a family man is accomplished in wisdom. These four things, Bhagahapaja, lead to a family man's welfare and happiness in the future life. Chapter 4, Section 4, Part 1. Avoiding wrong livelihood. These 5 trades, O monks, should not be taken up by a lay follower: trading in weapons, trading in living beings, trading in meat, trading in intoxicants, and trading in poison. Chapter 4, Section 4, Part 2. The Blessed One addressed the householder Anathapindika with the wealth acquired by energetic striving, amassed by the strength of his arms, earned by the sweat of his brow, righteous wealth, righteously gained. The noble disciple undertakes 4 worthy deeds. What for? With the wealth thus gained, he makes himself happy and pleased, and properly maintains himself in happiness. He makes his parents happy and pleased, and properly maintains them in happiness. He makes his wife and children, his slaves, his workers, and servants happy and pleased, and properly maintains them in happiness. He makes his friends and colleagues happy and pleased, and properly maintains them in happiness. This is the first case of wealth gone to good use, fruitfully applied and used for a worthy cause. Further, householder, with the wealth thus gained, the noble disciple makes provisions against the losses that might arise on account of fire and floods, kings and bandits, and unloved heirs. He makes himself secure against them. This is the second case of wealth gone to good use. Further, householder, with the wealth thus gained, the noble disciple makes the 5 kinds of offerings: to relatives, guests, ancestors, the king, and the devas. This is the third case of wealth gone to good use. Further, householder, with the wealth thus gained, the noble disciple establishes a lofty offering of alms to those ascetics and Brahmins who refrain from the vanity and negligence, who are settled in patience and gentleness, who are devoted to taming themselves, to calming themselves, and to attaining nibbana, an offering that is heavenly, resulting in happiness, conducive to heaven. This is the fourth case of wealth gone to good use, fruitfully employed and used for a worthy cause. These, householder, are the 4 worthy deeds that the noble disciple undertakes with the wealth acquired by energetic striving, amassed by the strength of his arms, earned by the sweat of his brow, righteous wealth righteously gained. For anyone whose wealth is expended on other things apart from these 4 worthy deeds, that wealth is said to have gone to waste, to have been squandered and used frivolously. But for anyone whose wealth is expended on these four worthy deeds, that wealth is said to have gone to good use, to have been fruitfully employed and used for a worthy cause. Chapter 4, Section 4, Part 3, A Family Man's Happiness. The Blessed One said to the householder Anathapindika, there are householder these four kinds of happiness which may be achieved by a layperson who enjoys sensual pleasures, depending on time and occasion. What for? The happiness of possession, the happiness of enjoyment, the happiness of freedom from debt, and the happiness of blamelessness. And what, householder, is the happiness of possession? Here, a family man possesses wealth acquired by energetic striving, amassed by the strength of his arms, earned by the sweat of his brow, righteous wealth righteously gained. When he thinks, I possess wealth acquired by energetic striving, righteously gained, he experiences happiness and joy. This is called the happiness of possession. And what householder is the happiness of enjoyment? Here, with the wealth acquired by energetic striving, amassed by the strength of his arms, earned by the sweat of his brow, righteous wealth righteously gained, a family man enjoys wealth and does meritorious deeds. When he thinks, with the wealth acquired by energetic striving, righteously gained, I enjoy my wealth and do meritorious deeds, he experiences happiness and joy. This is called the happiness of enjoyment. And what, householder, is the happiness of freedom from debt? Here, a family man is not indebted to anyone to any degree, whether small or great. When he thinks, I am not indebted to anyone to any degree, whether small or great, he experiences happiness and joy. This is called the happiness of freedom from debt. And what, householder, is the happiness of blamelessness? Here, householder, a noble disciple is endowed with blameless conduct of body, speech, and mind. When he thinks, I am endowed with blameless conduct of body, speech, and mind, he experiences happiness and joy. This is called the happiness of blamelessness. These, householder, are the four kinds of happiness that a lay person who enjoys sensual pleasures may achieve, depending on time and occasion. But yeah, we'll go ahead and end that episode there. But yeah, a lot of descriptions. Excuse me, I'm yawning. I was trying not to yawn in between when I was talking there. But anyway, let's go ahead and put my bookmark in here right quick. And then let's go to the introduction. Chapter 4, Section 4 and 5. Again, he asks his followers to use the wealth they obtain not only to gratify themselves, but to also benefit their dependents and others who live in charity, or live on charity. particularly virtuous ascetics and Brahmins, from chapter 4, section 4, part 2. Second, the lay followers should not rest content on mere pursuit of temporal well-being and happiness, but should also seek the well-being and happiness pertaining to the future life. This is to be done by fostering those qualities that lead to a happy rebirth and the attainment of Nibbana, according to texts chapter 4, section 3, and chapter 4, section 5. The principal virtues a lay follower should possess, leading to future welfare, are faith in the Buddha and the Enlightened One, moral discipline as unbroken observance of the 5 precepts, generosity as application to charity, giving and sharing, and wisdom as insight into the arising and passing away of phenomena. For early Buddhism, the ideal householder is not merely a devout supporter of the monastic order, but a noble person who has attained at least the first of the 4 stages of realization, the fruition of stream entry, Sotapanna. Let's see. I think that's all we have referring back to what we read this episode. So yeah. Looks like next episode we have one short part and then one long part. We'll try to do them together because the short part's about a page and a half, but the long part's a good several pages. 29 to 42. It's a long one. So, yeah, next episode will probably take a while. But, with that said, we are done. So, as always, educate thyself. Think, read, study, learn. Someone tells you something you have trouble believing, ask them to cite their sources. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Until then, later.